right, so we are recording, and welcome once again, everybody. Thank you for joining me this evening. I hope you all are healthy and safe, and your families as well. So it is February the 17th, and this is MELS 602 meeting. Today or tonight on the schedule, we're going to go over task stream. You probably already know all there is to know about it, but we're going to go over task stream, just kind of hit the highlights of what's involved with 602. But before I get that, before I go there, we talked about, and you'll have to forgive me this evening, I had a, let's say I had a, 8:30 meeting, a 10 o'clock meeting, 11 o'clock meeting, and I went to the high school and did mock interviews with the health science students all afternoon, and then got back to my office for a 3:30 meeting. So I have been meeting wide open today, so I may be a little bit rattled, and I'm just on my first cup of coffee, so it'll hopefully the caffeine will kick in and we'll get moving, and we'll make a little more sense than we are right now. As I was saying, we have gone over task 1 through 4 in the APTL. That's all you need to do on the APTL. There's not a reflection task. I'm sorry, see, this is what I'm talking about. I've skipped ahead to the CAP, which you won't need to worry about till 604. Sorry. CAP doesn't have a reflection. The APTL does have a reflection. That's task 4. It has a reflection. And what you're doing is you are talking to the 9 competencies that you didn't get in task 1, whatever the remainder of that is. So by the end of APTL, in your reflections, you will have reflected on all 21 competencies. So, but the APTL does just have 4 tasks, where the APTL had 5. So I've been getting your APTLs in, getting a lot of task 1 in, and task 2. A couple of task 3 are coming in, but not expecting that right now. I feel like everybody is on task, at least everybody that I have made contact with. I haven't really done kind of a check, a point in time check as to kind of where everybody's at. Probably be doing that next week, and then we'll be monitoring that like we did last semester. And if I feel like you're not on the on track to finish up on time, I'll reach out to you. But it doesn't matter whether you are or aren't. If you need any additional help, you need any additional Zooms, any additional emails, phone call conversations, all you got to do is let me know. We'll keep you on track. I feel like everybody's really good. This is a good group in 601. Really didn't have any concerns with this group in 601, so I'm not anticipating any for 602. But life happens. You get sick, and we all know what that's like nowadays. Or the kids get sick, or somebody. The dreaded brother-in-law shows up your door and says, "Hey, I'm here for a month," and his RV's packed and parked in the driveway. All that stuff happens to knock you off track. So you just let us know what's going on, and we'll help you if that's the case. So any questions, getting back to the APTL, any questions on task 1 through 4? What I've been seeing has been really good. I'll be completely frank with you. I haven't been given a lot of suggestions on the APTLs that I'm seeing so far, maybe 1 or 2 here, because they've been coming in really good. So I appreciate you. It shows you guys are looking at the rubric, looking at the handbook, looking at the prompts and stuff. You really right into that. APA, I haven't seen any problems on APA. So you guys have got that down pat. Great job on all that. Any questions on 1 through 4? Or questions in general at this point? All right, groovy. Well, if something pops up, you let me know. So let's look at task stream, and let's share the good news about task stream this semester. I've got it pulled up somewhere. Here we go. You should be looking at my sign in screen, and we're getting into task stream. Now, I was in it a few minutes ago, just checking a few things, see if anybody uploaded anything. All right, so let's go to Arthur first. And as promised last semester, the only thing that you have to do, remember, this is the DRF. If you hear of me or a course instructor or evaluator or another clinical coach talking about the DRF, Dr. Lamb refers to it a lot in some of his webinars, direct response folio. This is the DRF. And the only thing you have to turn in this semester in the DRF is the APTL. Remember, you did this competency analysis and the School of Ed disposition in 601. Only thing you need to do in 602 is the APTL. So once you get it cleared, the APTL final evidence narrative, and I say, hey, this is ready for task stream, then all you do is grab it and put it in here, and then that's it for the DRF this semester. So the only other thing that we need to work in task stream is the competency folio. And if you haven't done it already, and it may be kind of be a little rusty getting there, but if you'll remember, you can access your competency folio up here in the top banner where it says folio and web pages. And no, I'll submit that later. And let's see, I guess I think that's the one I built for you guys last semester. So, oh, I never finished it. Okay, let me get back to my old standby here. All right, so we're in the competency folio. They looked great last semester. You guys did a good job of kind of making them your own. And remember, this is yours on past the program to share with anyone that you choose to share with to highlight your leadership competence. But we do the same thing as we always did, or we did in 601. Any artifact that you collected or created for your APTL, and during the APTL process, you can use that artifact here to show evidence of competencies. And just like last semester, not every competency is attuned to the APTL, just like not everyone was kind of correlated to the APSL. So the best thing to do is to go through here and look at each competency and look right here. Okay, you showed evidence of communication in the APSL. You do not need to do that in the APTL. If something happened and you have a great example and you want to upload it as an open-ended, you certainly can. But there's nothing from the APTL that is required for communication. You go down to change management, not anything. Conflict management. Okay, that's the first competency that we're looking for in conflict management. A lot of times this can be a little bit of a speed bump or a hiccup for candidates, because when you think of conflict management, you're automatically thinking, a lot of times I'll see student discipline or some kind of disciplinary issue, or it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. Conflict management doesn't, or it's some angry parent coming in and you just happen to be the lucky one to deal with them, or they're another teacher situation. If those situations are occurring and there's a good example that you helped resolve it, then great, there's an example. But these can also just be within the context of the meetings that you're having in the APTL. You're looking at some leadership stuff. You're looking at teacher empowerment. You're going through the school and you're doing observation on evidence of best practices, and you want to present that to the principal. Well, there may be some things, the improvements that you need to work on. Principal may not be in agreement about that. Your team, people that you get to help you, may not be in agreement with that. So you talk it through. And that's a great example. Doesn't not necessarily where you wrote a narrative, but maybe it was in the minutes of the meeting or as an agenda item. That's evidence of an artifact. Just remember, you can't copy and paste any narrative from your evidence into this. It has to be something that some kind of product. If you copy and pasted an action plan, then yeah, you can certainly do that. But just where you're telling the story, it needs to be an artifact or something that was created, like an agenda, like minutes from the meeting, like notes, maybe even an email between you and the principal, about, hey, we need to meet on this or whatever. Maybe part of a PowerPoint, maybe a slide from a PowerPoint that generated and kind of a situation where you guys had to talk it through and reach a decision. And in that case, you might want to add a brief description along with that, just to kind of let the reader know that's why you uploaded that artifact. It's always good to identify your artifact. This is from the APTL. This is from the APSL. This is from, this is open-ended. And that because we kind of went through that last semester, just reminding you this semester. It helps the person looking at the portfolio, especially those of us, your clinical coaches who are monitoring this. If you put 3 or 4 in there and they're not, they don't have a title, then it's really hard sometimes for us to determine, did you mean this as evidence from the APSL, as an artifact from the APTL, or as an open-ended? So a lot of times there might be some questions there. You don't have to do a brief description, if you feel like it's necessary. But if the artifact speaks for itself, you just label the artifact and you're good to go. But if you, like we talked about a while ago, where you may just show a slide or a picture and you feel like there's a description needed to kind of explain, this is why I put this in here as evidence of conflict management, then that's certainly appropriate. You do not have to write anything long. It's not like a reflection or anything like that. You're just describing the artifact and what it is. We get into creative thinking. That is correlated to the APTL. Customer focus, nope. Delegation, no. Let me go to the chat here. Oh, okay, great. So Meredith made a Google sheet that kind of correlates all that, I guess. So Meredith, thank you for sharing that. That's very kind of you. So you guys take a look at that, and let's just go ahead. Whoa. Let's see if I can go ahead and click on that, and we'll see that. And may need to give everybody access, Meredith. So I'll go ahead and request access, and maybe we'll come back to it here in a little bit. So good job. Good job. Thank you so much for doing that. Very kind of you. Dialogue and inquiry, so on and so forth. Meredith made a Google sheet that we can look at that'll help with that. It'll show you which, I'm anticipating that it's showing which evidences go with which competency. So thank you, Meredith. Awesome. And yeah, that's an easy way to do it. And that way, okay, do this artifact goes in here. These are the ones I need to look at. Just look through, and anything that's correlated to the APTL, you put an artifact in there. If you ever run into a problem, conflict management causes an issues a lot of times with the APTL. Sometimes dialogue and inquiry it causes, I don't want to say issues, but maybe it's a challenge for some candidates to pick an artifact. Just let me know. We'll look at it together. I'll go back and open up your the draft of your APTL and look at your artifacts, and we'll look at it together and see what fits. So that is really what you'll need to do in the competency folio. Remember, once you upload the artifacts, you want me to take a look at them. You don't publish or share. That's for if you want to give people access to this web page to review, like as maybe your principal say, hey, look what I did, or as a somebody that's interviewing you and you want to give them, you do publish and share, just like you would publish and share. I don't know, I don't get on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, but you publish and share stuff on there. That's kind of within that context. If you want comments from me and feedbacks from me, you just request comment. You click on request comment, and I'm gonna move the screen over so I can see it. And please, I know you're probably tired of me saying this already, but only click on the ones you want me to review. Don't do this to me, where I have to look at every one of them. Because if you do that or request all comments, then I have to go through every one of them. So just the ones that you've put artifacts in that you want me to review, you do that. Click continue, find my name. Oh, sorry, I need to make a selection. Okay, I'm gonna make a selection. Let's do technology. Okay. Then once you get that, find my name. If you don't see my name anywhere, let me know. You should, because at 601, that's where we usually run into that. 602, it should already be established. Click on my name, click continue, and it'll shoot me an email telling me that you're ready for me to review your competency folio. Okay, let me go back into the chat. Okay, so, oh, great. So this is something that you did in 601. Good job, Meredith. Well, thanks for sharing it with me too. I appreciate that. I'm going to look at it because it's pretty cool. Make a copy. Yeah. All right. Oh, okay. Here. Oh, nice. Nicely done, Meredith. Look at that. Excellent. And then you can take notes and stuff and things like that, and you can check them off, color code them. That's great. I really appreciate you sharing that. That is awesome. Good job. Good job. Great. And thank you for collaborating and sharing that with everyone. Nicely done. Nicely done. All right. Let's go. Hey, so we get back to the competency folio. Move this out of the way. I got too many things on here I have to move out of the way. All right, here we go. Remember to be sure that you hit every competency that's correlated to the applicant. You got Meredith's sheet. And, you know, if you're watching the recording and you don't have Meredith's sheet, $10 and she'll be happy to send it to you. Just joking. I don't think she's charging, but a really nice email asking for her to send it to you, and a gracious thank you, I'm sure, would go a long ways. So just reach out to Meredith and she will be happy to share that with you if you're nice to her. So be nice to her. All right. So remember, in digital learning competencies, those are embedded within each of the task, within each of the evidence. You don't have to do anything with digital learning competency. It's just there as an FYI. So when the accreditation people will look at this, they'll see that we have addressed that and that it is embedded in the task already. You do not have to put any links up here at all. Actually, I wish they, and they may update it now. This is, like I said, this is an old sample. So I probably need to go ahead and do a new sample. So it may not even be there. I think the digital learning competency is in there, but this red font for evidence links may not be. But you don't have to do anything with digital learning competency. Remember that you'll need to upload your internship log for this semester. You don't have to do last semester. That's already been checked off on. If you're keeping a running log and you're just putting it on the bottom, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Just make sure that I can determine from the date when it began and when it ends. But you need 80 hours. You need 80 hours every semester, and you can upload that. So as you finish up task 1 through 4, you want to begin working on your competency folios. Oh, hey, Tiffany, I see you got a question. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I think you just answered, but I just want to make sure. So for our summer semester, we're going to need 80 hours too?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up, Tiffany. You will. So I will count for your internship hours. I will count everything that can happen, that happens after the last day of this semester. Don't ask me the last day of this semester in case you ask and don't know. I'm gonna, let's see, let me pull up my calendar and let's see here. We are actually on week 7. No, we're not. We're on week 6. Okay, week 6 of Gardner Webb. MELS 602, that's MELS 601, April, and in May, when do I have to turn grades in? I have to turn grades in on May the 7th. So that means the last day of the semester will probably be May the 4th. And then I turn grades in on the 7th. So anything after May the 4th, any hours you accumulate on May the 5th, you can do that. You can do that. You can start them then for the summer semester. And like I said, I'm glad you brought that up because I do want to address that a little bit more. The summer semester, I need to move some things around here. Okay. And let me go, see, where do I want to go here? Okay, the MELS 603, I think, is the OMA, organizational management. I don't want to tell you wrong though. Well, I know a quick way to do it. So in 603, and I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I do want to let you know because you'll be happy to hear it. Yeah, 603 is the OMA. Probably as we end 602, because that summer semester is 10 weeks. I mean, you got 15 weeks. You had 15 weeks last semester, 15 weeks this semester. Summer semester is 10 weeks. So it's pretty fast and furious. As soon as we start wrapping up 602, I will do a Zoom, maybe a recording, or we might just do it live and invite anybody who's ready and record it, and then anybody can watch it later and give you some overview on the OMA. So if you want to, if you wish to, as soon as you finish 602, and your competency folio was updated, your internship log is in the competency folio, you've uploaded the APTL, and the next summer semester hasn't started yet, but you kind of want to get a head start on the next evidence, I'll do that for you. I'll do a recording or a Zoom to kind of talk about the OMA, but not till we get into that last week, because I don't want you to be distracted from what you're finishing up on. But that way you can kind of hit the ground running. If you feel like you need a break, then you take a break. That is totally up to you. It is just there for you if you want to use it on the OMA. All right, so that is, now I'll do that later. So that's about where we're at as far as the competency folio and the internship log. And that's really all you got for the APTL in 602 is upload the APTL in your DRF, update your competency folio, and you continue to do that. I tell you what, waiting towards the end to get those artifacts in, it is really hectic and stressful on the candidate. It's best to do it now as you go along and knock out each semester's artifact. Get all the APSLs in, get all the APTL in, get all the OMA in, and so on and so forth, and trying to play catch up. So keeping this competency folio up to date is very important. Any questions?
Sorry, Dr. Bolus, is the next time that we meet March 31st?
I believe so. Let me pull up, do another share here. I think that's right, because I've got, see, next week is 601. I should have left my calendar up. All right, 601. And then March 17th. Yes, March 17th is the next time that we meet. Yep. Yep. If you ever need to look and kind of fall back on my schedule, just remember that it's here in the in my clinical coach shell, and just pull it up. You guys are orange, I believe, is the color code that I put you in, and that'll tell you what I'm doing what week, even if it's not your cohort. We are at tonight is I'm sorry, I may have pulled up, I may have been looking at February a while ago. Let's see, is March 7th? Yeah, it is. Okay, all right, 17th kind of threw me. But I'll be meeting with you guys tonight. Tuesday I meet with 605. Next Thursday I meet with 601, and then we kind of got the spring break time in here. If you want to meet then, if you want to meet in week 8 or during spring break because you need some help with anything, let me know. No problem. I'm not married to being off out of that at all. So, but the next scheduled is 13. We'll kind of see if you have any problems with task streams and doing any question and answer. And I do believe 31st, as you mentioned, is the next one. So we got one more. We got the 17th and we got the 31st. Now the 31st and on downward is kind of optional. If you have questions or if you want to meet, you're certainly welcome to meet. But I'll jump online just in case anybody has any questions. If nobody shows up about 10 minutes, then then I'll get off of there. So these March 31st is optional and the rest of them optional. And if there's, I may send out a survey by March 17th to see if it's optional if you want to meet that night and make that optional as well, because it may be more beneficial to you to spend this time working on your evidences and your artifacts than meeting with this. So I always take that into account. Getting close to the semester, then kind of give you a little extra time. If there's no need to meet, then let's not meet. So as I said, we are in week 6, probably during this week 8, and then spring break. I'm probably going to start doing a little audit of everybody's progress, and then reach out to anybody that I just kind of want to check in with and say, where you at and where you plan on being. Just kind of do that. All right. Any other questions? You guys are awesome. I really enjoy working with you and hope to have you again next semester. Might be able to rotate with you all the way to 605. So I hope so. You guys do a great job, and I enjoy our time together. So, yes, Sarah, what can I do for you? Hey.
Yeah, can I meet with you just at the end if you've got like 2 minutes?
Absolutely. I got as much time as you need. Okay, no
All right,
problem.
thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am. Any questions? All right, well, I'm going to stop the recording.